Hey guys, my name is Charlie. I do the hitch stuff around here. So what we're going to do is, basically this is set up, ready to travel right now. What we're going to do is unhook everything step by step and then basically hook it all back up. First thing you want to do, and you'll probably notice right away, you'll want to point out, these are called spring bars, and you can see that they're bending a little bit. So there's a lot of tension on there. There's a lot of load. You can't even move them. What they're doing right now is they're holding up and keeping the truck and the trailer level. They're also preventing the sway. How that works is there's so much tension on both of these bars, there's one on each side. If the trailer tries to sway one way, it's automatically going to add tension to the opposite bar. So it's trying to pull it back in behind it all the time. So that's what we're looking at right now. So you could imagine this is a rotating latch. If we try to unhook that right now, this is like a slingshot. And it's just going to slam down. So what we need to do first, before anything else, is we're going to extend this jack. We're going to raise the truck and the trailer together. And that's going to take all the tension off these bars. So we'll come up here, we'll switch on the left, and we'll start to extend it. Before I go any farther, I'd like to point out, a lot of people ask, well, how high do I raise this? It depends on where you're unhooking, because not all ground is going to be level. Right now the ground's level, so if I could measurement, that's fine for a level ground, but if you're at a park and you're at an angle, it's always going to be different. So what I want to do is I want to raise it up until I can reach down here by hand and actually wiggle that. And I want to demonstrate that now. Usually it doesn't take a whole lot. So there's always going to be a little bit of tension. And you can actually see it's starting to straighten out a little bit. It's not bending quite as much as it was, so that's an indication that there's not as much of a load on the bar anymore. Essentially, we're putting all the weight on this jack. All this jack is taking over. It's taking on all that pressure. So that's pretty good about right there. This tool actually comes with it for hooking and unhooking this rotating latch. So I want to do it real quick and then latch it back on and then explain what I did. Just for the sake of showing how easy it is. So it drops right out just like that. Then I'm going to hook it back up. What we want to see is, counting from this open end, we go to the 9th link on this setup for this truck and trailer. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This 9th one, you'll see right here, this notch, this cutout. That 9th link is the one that travels into that slot. And then you want to hold it with your left hand so it doesn't try to fall out. And as you're holding it, the wrench on, rotate until it clicks, and you'll actually see this pin drop in on its own, just like that. Now that's locked. That's not going anywhere. So to unhook it, basically reverse the process. You can see it's not going anywhere. We have to, I use my thumb, I push against this latch here, pull that pin out, and with a very firm grip, start to rotate it. If you don't have a firm grip, it can slip out of your hand, so you want to make sure that you're really grabbing a hold of it. So that's basically how we unhook that. So to proceed, drop it out. To remove the spring bar itself, there's a little spring pin here. And you want this to be kind of loose. If you're pushing or pulling on it at all, it's going to get in a bind. It's going to be hard for you to unhook it. So you want it kind of sloppy. Pull up, and it'll slide right out just like that. Essentially, it's dropping down into this hole. So when you go to install it, because of this wedge, you can just push it in, and it locks in all by itself. Very easy to install. So that is the passenger side. The driver's side, I'll unplug this just to get it out of the way. It's doing the same thing, rotating in the same direction. So we're still holding the wrench in our right hand. We're still actuating the locking pin with our left hand. The difference is because we're on the driver's side now, the chain is on the rear or facing the trailer. But it's all rotating the same way, same length, 9th from the opened end. So no changes there. Same thing with the driver's side bar. Lift up the pin, slide it out. Now, once we have the bars off, it's just a matter of unhooking this coupler lock off the ball. Now, right now, if you remember, we had to extend the jack and raise the truck and the trailer. So what that means is that coupler is actually grabbing onto that ball and pulling up right now. So we have to eliminate that pressure. So how we do that is, we're going to retract the jack until we actually see it loosen up. You'll actually see it move a little bit. Once you see that, you know it's safe to unhook the coupler latch. Right there. See, now we know it's seated all the way down on the ball. And simply raise it up. Drop down the latch, raise it up to unlock it. And then extend the jack again to raise up off the ball. And there we go. Sometimes it'll creep forward a little bit, that's all right. Now, this is what they call a breakaway switch. This is very important. What this does is, if this trailer ever comes unhooked while you're traveling, let's hope that that never happens, but if it does, it'll pull this pin out and it'll lock up the brakes on the trailer. This way the trailer doesn't pass you up, it doesn't slam into the back of your vehicle or harm someone. So, what we've done here is, you can see that I've doubled it up. I'm going to unhook it and then hook it back up. The reason I did that, well, there's a couple of reasons why I did that. The obvious reason is that it's too long. So if I was to latch it here, it's too low. It could get hung on something, it could get caught up in the hitch somewhere, it could get pulled out. So we don't want that. The other reason is, so what I've done, I just loop it through the hitch ring, the receiver hitch ring here, and then just latch it back up here. So the other reason I've done this is because this breakaway cable has to be shorter than the safety chains. If it's not, if it's too long, if the trailer comes undone, the chains will get tight and it won't allow this to pull that pin out. So it has to be shorter than the safety chains. And something I'll do sometimes, I'll actually start here. I'll know that I have my right length to hook up my link, and then I will just twist it up so there's less chance for it to snag on anything. Just like that. And take your quick link, throw it in there like that. Just finger tight. You don't have to use any tools or anything like that. And that's plenty to make your turns, sharp turns, backing up and all that, but not too long to where it won't be able to do its job. Now, moving on, safety chains, these guys here, you can see that we've crossed them. You always want to cross them. So as far as unhooking, that's pretty much it. Of course, we don't take this off, and then you just pull forward. This whole head assembly here, you pull this clip and this pin out, and this whole thing comes out in one piece. And you can set it at the back of the truck, set it inside the trailer, anywhere you like. And as far as unhooking, that's pretty much it. So we're going to reverse the process, start hooking everything back up again. Again, cross the chains, latch them on like that. So first thing we're going to do, drop the coupler on the ball and lock it on so we can raise everything back up again. So number one rule, when you're hooking or unhooking, you always want the coupler locked on the ball and everything raised up. That's the number one rule. Get up here out of the way. So we may have to. Okay. We'll raise it up a little bit. Okay, what happened was, and this isn't uncommon, when you're unhooking, the vehicle can creep forward a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is go inside, start it, and back up just a little bit, and then continue on. Okay, look down here a little bit. That may be back a little bit too far, but we're going to see. We're going to drop down and see what we got here. This is actually good for the demonstration anyway. I've got the ball back a little bit too far, and you can see now it's not going to latch. What happens is this piston back there, there's a block underneath it that drops in behind this ball and locks it in place. If the ball is back too far, it won't allow it to drop in. So now what I'm going to do is go inside, start it, and actually pull forward a little bit. Get it in the proper position. You should hear it click into place on its own. There it goes. So that's a good trick to know. So if you ever see anybody here with a hammer beating on stuff, kind of stop them, hey, let me show you a trick. It's a lot easier this way. Now that we're locked on, we see that it's flush against the metal here. We know that it's locked in place. And we have to raise this up anyway to hook up the spring bars, so it's going to ensure us that it is in fact locked. Otherwise it would pull up off the ball. And you'll see it actually start to lift the vehicle also. So I'm going to stop about right there and see if that's enough. Next thing I'm going to do, again, you want that wedge on the top, the hole on the top, and just push it in till you see this. It'll pop up. You'll hear it click. Just like that. You know, make sure, wiggle it around. So what we're going to do is this rotating latch. I want to drop down to where this slot is basically parallel with the frame, so I can hold my chain straight up into position. And I'm going to count. Remember, it's 9th link. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this 9th link, I can hold this chain up straight and guide it right into that slot. That tells me that we've raised it up high enough. I don't have to raise that jack any higher. It's plenty high enough for it to lock into place without any real force. And just click it right in, just like that. Do the same other thing on the other side, same thing. Okay. Same thing here. Wedge on top, hold on top, click into place. Slot parallel with the frame, and we'll count again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That 9th link into the slot. Hold it in place and latch it in. Okay, so now we've got everything latched, everything hooked up. What we can do now is go ahead and retract the jack, and it's going to end up in a level position after all the adjustments that we've made. And you go ahead and raise it up high enough to where you have your ground clearance. Raise the foot up higher than the head assembly. Or you can just raise it up all the way, you know. That should be plenty. Okay, lastly, our 7-way plug. I'm gonna bring it over the top here. Now, this only plugs in one way. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little notch here at the 6 o'clock position, and you'll see where it will engage the plug here. So it only plugs in one way. Also, you'll see that there's a tab on the bottom of the plug and the cap. The cap's going to fall in behind it and kind of hold it in place like that. And give it a little squeeze, make sure it's tight. So that's what we got with that. Go ahead and get our blocks out of the way. So this is our travel position. I took the cover off of the LP just for demonstration purposes so we could see a little bit better. I want to go ahead and put it down real quick. And actually, let's tuck this away so it doesn't get misplaced. Throw it in that compartment. Okay. So this large wing nut is what actually holds all this together. Just trying to get away. Okay. Get our cover. The LP cover, we want the latch to the rear or facing the trailer. And it's usually easier if you go ahead and unhook it where you can see, because you're going to have to line up this hole with that all-thread rod there. So drop it down over, like so. Drop that into place. Take our wing nut, tighten it down. Doesn't have to be a lot of force, just so it's snug, just like that. And that's good. Close the lid, pull the latch over here, tighten it down. I was going to show you this too if you'll get a kind of an up close shot. They have a little cutout here where you can run, this is the wire for your the jack, breakaway cable, and of course your subway plug. There's actually more room underneath here rather than trying to get all these wires and cables crammed into this one spot right here. So something good to know. Also, there's a hole you'll see right here. This travels all the way through. You can buy a pin lock, run all the way through that. It's a theft deterrent, and also when you're traveling, it'll keep this from popping open. Let's see what else. I think that's about it, guys. I think we're ready to roll.
Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions or have any recommendations on content you'd like to see, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. If you enjoy our content, give us a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks again from Airstream DFW.